So now let's talk about property deals, okay? Because you gotta get this circle right, which I've shared previously, but it's so important to get this right. It's unbelievable how many people keep struggling, but not get this circle right, which is first go and find the right deal. Then second step is go and find the investor. First, find the right deal that stacks up. Second, go and find the investor. Third, go and make the deal profitable. Fourth, return investors' money. Make the deal profitable, that's third step. And fourth is return investors' money, and it's almost like rinse and repeat. Okay, it's very, very simple. Unless you don't get this circle right. So think of the circle, and you have first get the deal that really stacks up well, healthy deal. Then you find your investors. So you learn to go and pitch. Then you raise the money, and then you make it profitable, because it's one thing finding a deal that's profitable, and then another thing pitching and raising money, another thing making sure that the deal becomes profitable. So imagine this hotel that we're sitting in. We've first found the deal, so it really stacks up well, gives us 100% return on money invested. Okay, then I went and pitched the deal to raise the investment, and then now it's my job to make sure it's profitable at as much automation as possible. Then I'll go and return the investors' money, and then I'll rinse and repeat. If you are an entrepreneur, so if you're an investor, sorry, I'm going to come back to you. If you are an investor, you have to get the circle right, irrespective of the business you're in. Go ahead, your question. Okay, so why? So I'm going to ask you a question in return, and I'll come back to your answer. Why do you think I've chosen this strategy in this location? That means we've chosen Blackpool and Leeds hotels. Why is that? No, this is because this is an area that will allow me the highest return with the maximum automation. I could still be sitting in Slough, where I live, still find a development deal or a refurb deal. You've seen me doing one where I live, where we've added 120 grand worth of equity, right? I could still sit there, do one deal a year, make 100 grand, and still be happy. The problem is that can't be scaled. That can't be scaled. The pipeline is like feminine feast. Sometimes there's more deals, sometimes there's more money, and getting the balance is so tough, you will go crazy. Okay? Unless you are backed up by a family office and they say, you know what, we have 100 million, go and do deals, and we'll give you money without asking you 500,000 questions. Okay, then that's a different position to be in, because then you can go and be in auctions, collaborate with auctions, get pre-auction properties, all sorts of things you can do. But unless you're backed up by a family office where they're prepared to work on lower return on investment sometimes, while some may be higher, some may be lower, a bit of a combination, you're just going to struggle. Okay, that's exactly why I am not in Slough and not doing refurbs at the moment. Not that I won't do, I still will do when I come across the right deal in that local region, or a planning uplift or a development deal. But I find this scalable as well as good return on money invested. Okay, so remember, it took me 3 years, over 3 years, to first of all find a location like this and be able to find a strategy like this. I think there's no one out there, or maybe one person, who's actually teaching this stuff in the country. Yeah. Again, so your question? You had a question? Yeah. Yeah. To be able to find the investors. Next step is finding investors.
Find investors.
Yes.
And then make it profitable.
Second.
And then return the investors.
No, so I would say most investors expect you to have your skin in the game. Most do. Not everyone, but most do. I want you to reflect back. It could be 2%, it could be 5%. It doesn't really matter how much skin you have. But they expect some skin in the game, because then if you pitch to investors, most, I'm not saying all, would turn up and say, you know what, you don't have any skin in the game, you could just run away. Okay? And these things happen. Okay, so I want you to reflect on the second step as your own journey with me. You got in touch with me on an event where I was speaking. You called me up, we jumped on a call, we jumped on what, at least 3 or 4 calls, 5 calls? Okay, all right. All right. Okay. That's right, yes. Okay, okay. Understood. Okay, so let's say the first step of finding the right deals is depending on which kind of deal you're looking at. Let's say if you're looking at a development deal or okay, so let's talk about hotels. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So the first step is obviously to find the deals. Which, are you okay with that? That this step is clear for you? Is that step clear? Finding the right deals. So you go online. There is about a bunch of estate agents, I think about 6 or 7 very active, maybe close to 10. Kendricks, Case, Flurits, name of the agents that are active in this region. Kendricks Commercial, you have Case, you have Christie's, you have KYS Case, you have Christie's, you have Flurits. I would also check Zoopla and Rightmove because that's where they are. Business for sale as well. They're there as well. Some are on Gumtree as well. Okay. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of websites that you can go to and check. Okay. Rightmove, Zoopla still stay at the top. Okay. Zoopla, Gumtree, OnTheMarket. Oh, yeah, don't check the residential sector. Check the commercial tab. Okay. Commercial. Yeah. So these are the websites you go to. You direct to vendor you can only do when you're in the region. If you're not in the region, it's a tough task. So I did a direct to vendor 1 in the morning in front of you, right? There's no agent involved. Okay. We also did so to give you an example, so those who are watching this so they can see as well. Got the new arena, which is right opposite, because the landlord of this hotel walked in with the leaseholder of that hotel, and I didn't even know. I didn't know the person with the leaseholder of that hotel, yeah. And they're just friends. So she said, obviously the landlord said, he's the one who deals with new arena. I said, okay, I put a proposal on that to the agent. I never heard back. That's because I put a lower offer. Mm-hmm. And she said, he said, the guy said, the ones who owns the new arena now, he said, oh, that offer was way too low, so we didn't consider it. Said, okay, tell me, what would you like? And before he even came, I had actually asked the landlord to what he would take, because he had actually done the deal with someone else who pulled out. I'd asked that question, and she said he had agreed at 31. He walked in, I proposed him 26 or 27. We agreed at 29. Direct to vendor, even though he still took it back to the agent because he had a contract with him, and that's his problem. He's paying the agent's fee, he's paying all his legal fee. I'm only paying 29 grand straight. Okay, that's your direct to vendor. The only reason I was able to do that is because I've been researching, I've been here, I've bought this property. Well, guess what happens the next day? It gets more interesting. She walks in with the leaseholder of the Wogden house. It's what you call your presence. You need to be here to be able to do direct to vendor deals. If you are sitting in London and someone even calls you, let's say you do leaflets, right? And someone calls you and you can't get here for a day, 2, 3, 4 days. This guy is not going to wait for you. Okay, people don't even like waiting 5 minutes. Okay, forget about 3 hours and 2 days. Okay, so she walks in the next day with the Wogden house guy, which is right opposite for those who are watching. He walks in and I said, so she said, oh, he's so and so, and he leads. He's got the leads on the Wogden. I said, okay, that's interesting. Wogden is online, like it's for sale as well. And I had put an offer, but again, I never heard back. He said, I had cancer. and I've been through the treatment. So for the past 3 or 4 months, we've not responded to anyone. Okay, but we were now getting to a stage to start responding to agents. Okay, I said, okay. I said, what would you like for it? I said, well, it's up for 25. I said, okay, I'll give you 25. But just so you know that you have a proof that we've taken this and we have the money ready. Now remember, when he goes back to the agent, he's going to have loads of people visiting and so on and so forth. I made myself stand out by what you call social proof, or not social proof, but actual proof, right? It's actual proof. I've already bought one here. The landlord thinks I'm a nice person, which I am. Which I am. I said to him, I said, I can complete it as and when you like, according to your convenience, because he's got a medical issue and that he needs a certain amount of time to be able to move from here. I said, I'll work according to your dates rather than you working according to my dates. Now, let's say he goes back to the agent, who stands out in his mind? First of all, proof that we've already taken. He knows that people drop off last minute and all sorts of things, right? Bad deals. And at the same time, I'm working according to his timeline rather than the other way. Okay. So direct to vendor deals are based on you doing leafleting or networking or running paid ads or whatever. However, remember, paid ads, I don't recommend, because these days paid ads are becoming way more expensive for the kind of money that you're going to make at the back of it, unless you're backed up by 100 million fund. That's a different story. But one-to-one networking has always worked for me. And I always tell people, irrespective of the kind of business you look at, it's always based on network. Around the corner cafe, to running hotels, to running whatever, it's always a network. Okay, so that's how my one-to-one generation of leads is happening. Okay, again, Riviera, no agent involved. I've taken the other one, Osprey, through an agent. She shows me this, no agent's fee, done enough. So I've done 3 in front of you, direct to vendor, right opposite where I am. Go ahead, please. I will let you know if I feel that there is one that is suitable for you. And believe me, I am one of those people, and I say this all the time. People who compete fiercely, they have a mentality of limited money in the world, and there is no limit to the money in the world. There is money for everyone, and everyone can enjoy and make money. Okay, so if you just keep this mind open and play the game, you'll do really well. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I asked that. That's very important. And to be networking in this area, we have to be here physically.
Okay.
So my crazy question to you is, next time you're coming up here and spending, I don't know, 4 or 5 days or whatever you're going to spend, let me know, because then I can go up here and spend maybe 3 or 4 days here. I have to go home now, but because then I can prepare some channels, and hopefully this lovely telephone will take also from me. That's going to be quite good support also. That could be another situation next time. If that's possible.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes. Look.
20 times that is brilliant. Yeah.
I've given an upgrade as well. He booked a single room. I gave him a double. Look, yes.
No, but that's the whole point. You do your research. He gets linked up with the different people, and you get a deal in the 5 days that maybe you're here.
Because what I know, when we was like,
Yeah.
we met some other people, but now if I'm here with an angle that I'm going to find my place, and
Yeah.
Jack is here too.
Look,
I'm going to
I
find
will
myself.
help you find deals as and when we go along. I don't mind sharing things.
Yeah.
Okay, look, for me, I told you, eventually someone is going to lead PEN. It could be your siblings, it could be your nephews, it could be someone that you bring along the line in the next 4 or 5 years. It could be, if you play an active and a decent game, everyone wins out of the picture. Okay, if you play the wrong and the negative loophole game, no one wins out of the picture. Okay, so coming back to your question, that's how you find direct to vendor deals. Like I said, I am not in the favor of running paid ads unless you're sitting on 100 million fund. I am a massive believer in networking, and that has always paid me well, always looked after me. And if you do network effectively, there's networking and there's networking badly. People go into networking events, hand out their cards, and you never hear from them. That's bad networking. You know, I do very, very good networking. I'm probably with a lot of respect, I'm probably one of the top 1% networkers in the world, but I do it very effectively and I do a good job at that. Okay. Bring people into your WhatsApp groups, bring people into your Telegram, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, keep them closer to you, keep them so close. In fact, I share the story all the time. I walked into a networking event and the host goes, I can't believe, first of all, you've come here, because for him, it's like, you know, with a lot of respect, I'm like a celebrity. And he said, I can't believe you turned up here first. And that, just to give you a compliment, I get to hear more from you than from my wife. And John said as well, I wake up with 130 plus messages from your groups. So next time when he needs any of my services, as long as I'm playing a fair game, who is he going to think about? That's because I've created a structure, purposely, intentionally created, so people could think of me. Okay. And when they need finance, they call me. When they need properties, they call me. When they need a whole bunch of other services, they call me. Okay. So that's what you call effective networking. In fact, we were the first one in the country to use WhatsApp in the property business as effectively as we have. Okay. And now it's kind of dying down. A lot of people don't like WhatsApp anymore. Okay. But again, you have to find a way to do good networking. Okay. And learn to do that. At the same time, you know, I know personally that in about 5 years' time, these 862 people who own hotels here, every single one of them is going to be in my groups. Every single one. So when they are selling, I don't want them to go to any of these agents. Just call me up. I'll take your hotel. As long as you give me a fair price, I will take it. How long does it take to bring 862 people in a Telegram group, let's say? If you do one person a day, it's not a lot of people, one person a day. That's less than 3 years, every single hotelier in the country in a single group. And remember, in Blackpool, don't forget, I don't monetize on one level. If they have a deal they want to sell, I'll take it. If they want a new management company, I'll manage it. If they want more bookings online, I will give them bookings through my website. My website is called blackpoolhotels.group. I will charge them 10% for the bookings as well. I don't monetize on one level. I never monetize on one level.
What's it called? Blackpool Hotel?
Blackpoolhotels.group. Okay. .group, yes. You can give it to, well, if you want me to manage it, I'll manage it for you. Bear in mind, you're going to earn less return on your money invested. And if you want to, for example, take bookings from us, as in the sense we give you more bookings, and then you pay us a percentage, which is 10%. You pay booking.com like 15, 80%. You give us 10%, we'll give you new bookings. Value ladder. Exactly. Automation, value ladder, creating digital assets, monetizing on multiple levels. You don't monetize on one level. I can guarantee my life, I will have all these 800 plus hoteliers, not 800, probably about 300-400 of them would be too old to even worry about this. So let's say 500 of these. What's that? What about it? Which one?
The one with the windows or
the one with the, yeah, no. It's too much work. Not worth my time. Not worth my time. Okay. Again, what I'm saying is you monetize on multiple levels. So it doesn't answer your question to some extent. The first step. It's not worth my time renovating it. I'd rather take one that's ready.
Yeah, that you can
just rent.
You know, instead of waiting 6 months. And you're waiting maybe 6 months to a year.
Okay, I want you to change something about yourself. There's something that you think. Okay, what do you value your time? Oh, that's a different story. We're looking at the spiritual aspect. We're not talking about the spiritual aspect. Okay, that's obvious. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to even survive till 5 o'clock. I could die. I could have a heart attack. That's a spiritual aspect. I'm talking about logical stuff. What do you value your time? So how do you make money?
So what? This should be answered off.
Okay, so just so you know, ask me the same question. Ask me the same question.
And this is what I'm saying, for creating longevity and
I would rather have someone else, wait. I would rather have someone else who thinks their time is worth about 10, 20 pounds an hour, do the work. Wait. Let me finish. Let me. No. I would rather have, and I'm saying this with a lot of humility, this is getting recorded. I'd rather have some idiot who thinks that they're going to make money out of that. They're going to spend 6 months of their time, make 20 grand, okay, do it up. I'm not touching it. It's not me. Someone else is doing it. I don't know who this person is. They're going to do it up, all get it ready. They now put it on the market. I go and buy it. They've made 20 grand for their 6 months time. I can make that 20 grand in a month. Okay, good luck to them. I've just made more money for my time. Okay, and then I'll go and buy it. Does that make sense? Hi, Kalpana. When it's done, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time. You got to remember. Yes, it's a BRR project. Yes, it is classified as a development project. You can't. You don't know Blackpool yet.
Yes, Blackpool is.
You don't know Blackpool yet. You could spend 50 grand on that. Okay, you buy it for 50. You spend 50. At the end of it, it's probably worth about 100.
Yeah, Blackpool is different to London.
And if you go and put the same effort in London or Greater London, or let's say the southeast area or southwest area, for the same 6 months of your time investment, you could walk away with 200, 300, maybe $1 million, depending on the size of the deal that you work on. You're looking at a very small picture, Fortune. You need to look at a much. It's almost like you need the eagle eye view on your business, on your life as well. But let's talk business, okay? You need eagle eye view on everything that you do in your business, okay? If you start, I could easily start doing paint here and get that sofa changed, all of that. This is 10, 20 pound an hour job. That's not worth my time, okay? I don't do stuff that pays that kind of money. If you ask me, for example, today, how much do you charge for a day? Okay. If I'm busy with my deals, I'm not even giving you a day, even if you say I'm going to pay you 20 grand a day, because it's not worth my time. Those deals in the long term are going to pay me for a single day, 50 grand. Can you pay me 50 grand? The answer is no. Okay. Someone who can pay me 50, 100 grand, I may consider. Especially I'm busy. If I'm not busy, then you know what? It's okay. I'll charge you 10 grand a day. Okay. Most people won't pay 10 grand a day. Only people who are running medium to large size businesses. You need to start to value your time before someone actually decides to even pay you. If I turn up and say, okay, just pay me 10 quid an hour, you'd be more happy to take it, right? Okay. But that's not how businesses work. That's not how you grow a multi-million rand company. Exactly. You have to first value your time. I look at solicitors and architects and planners and all of those people who charge like £200, £300, £500 an hour. I look at them and I think, wow, you've just spent 5-7 years of your life because you want to make £100, £200 an hour, £300. Okay, if you learn two things in life really well, okay, you'll do it. One is sales skills that I call sales and serving skills. That means bringing value on the table. And second is money management. Okay, you will make for every hour for the rest of your life. If you learn these two skills really well, you'll make for the rest of your life over £5,000 an hour for every hour. That's what I'm doing in front of you. So this is getting recorded. There are some people watching this. I'm actually going to go and package this and sell it on multiple levels to multiple people. Either it is getting used as for referral members, so they could, improve their skills to bring me more leads, or it gets used on inner circle at some point, some of the videos for them to be able to bring more deals to us or investors. I could use this on as subsets of training programs or mentoring program, or I could use it on PE Club to be able to raise investment. Or when I start to sign up on my personal consulting, I could give this away as just a front-end product for free. So someone could sign me up for 20 grand a day. You watching all of this is just it's almost like observing the smaller details of the structure of the business and how you can take that and implement it in the business. Does that make sense? Yes, it's a transition. You can't get there in a day. It's taken. Look, I started my business life when I was 13. I'm 42. That's 29 years. I joined my family business. Okay, for about 3-4 years, I was going to school and I used to go to my dad's office, right? And I've been through that hard phase of learning. And I moved to this country. Okay, and I had literally days when I had no money to eat, kind of days. Okay. So I've been through that hard phase of the journey to be able to get to a point where I'm able to structure this. Something that's taken me 29 years, you can't do it in a month, in a year. It's going to take you at least a few years, right? Okay. So that is why you look at my, when I'm sharing about the mentoring program, even though people are not tied up and they can leave, but I always tell them, if you're not going to stay for 2 years and you're going to not learn all these basics and how you implement them in your business, you're not going to be able to build a large business, okay? And it takes 2 years to learn the basics. Basics. A 5-hour session isn't going to teach you everything. It does teach the basics, but when you go and start implement, all of a sudden you come across these very smaller details and you don't know what to do with it. Okay, does it answer your first step? Second step is how to raise funding.
Find investors.
To find investors?
Yeah.
Go back to the training programs, learn the GROW model. GROW stands for, G stands for goals, R for reality, O for options, W for will. You already have your investors. Okay. Yeah. Mistakes, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
That house up there?
No, I believe I have not mastered the act of marketing, because if I'm sending out all this information, I'm sending to them, the power or the energy will come to me.
You can't stop.
Because
Yeah, but then they should have come to you again and asked you, what do I need to do?
Can I make this easier?
They started.
Can I make this easier?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the first things you ever learn when you start doing personal development is you can't change people.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're trying to change people, good luck before you go insane.
Yeah.
Wait, please let me help you here. Okay. I'm making your life easier. If you're trying to change people, the only person who's going to insane is you. Okay. You are going to go mad. And if you don't, you will kill someone because of your frustration. Okay. Please do not try and change it. If you bring value on the table, if someone likes to take it, they will take it. If someone doesn't want to take it, you can't do anything. The people who like to take that value are the ones who are coachable, people who are listening and learning. They're the ones whose brains are malleable enough to learn. And those are the people you can help. Help. Okay? There are members in my own group who've been connected with me, even still go now, even though I've told them 500,000 times, before making a major decision, come to me, ask me, it will take me 2 minutes to analyze the deal. I'll say yes or no. It will save you thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. There are still people in the group who still make mistakes. You can't change people. Save yourself the energy. What you can do is, here is some value. What I'm doing right now, here is some value. Would you like to take it? If they take it, that's up to them. If they don't take it, move on. Does that make sense? You can't change people. Going back to your investors. If let's say you already have a bunch of investors, just because you already have a bunch of investors doesn't mean that they're going to give you the money. You have to prove that the deal you're bringing makes sense in terms of numbers. Okay? And if it makes sense and they trust you, first they trust you and then the numbers make sense, they will invest with you. If you want me to show you our pitch deck, and I've prepared many throughout the years in my life, I can show you the last one that I've prepared. You can check and you can see the sequence of that deck is actually based on the grow model. Okay? The grow model is very, very simple. All you got to do is find out where a person is, where they want to be, and how you can help them in the journey. That is all there is to the grow model. All my questions, all my communication, even though there are tens of other models and I've tested many of them, all my communication is based purely on the grow model. Okay? And
Well, they've invested somewhere else.
yeah, so getting the timing right is another trick, okay? So here it is what I do, okay? So to give you an example, some of the money that I've already taken from people, I give them a 3 months buffer that we're not going to pay you any interest, okay? Because it takes 3 months for me to run, find the deal, start to invest, and I'm not making any money. So it needs to stay with us for 3 months before we have the deal ready. So we already take the money, we don't pay no interest for 3 months, and we start paying interest after 3 months, okay? And after 3 months, if we haven't done the deal,
But also explain that you take their money, what kind of account would you hold that in?
it will go into an SPV. It's been an SPV, special purpose vehicle, a newly registered company that the money needs to go in. Your agreement will be based on that, and that money stays in that, because if you touch that money for something else without the permission of the investor, unless your agreement is according, so it depends on the agreement that you have, it's actually illegal. Okay? So it goes into the SPV. If you want more flexibility with the money, put it in the agreement. If you don't want more flexibility, then it's a standard agreement. And then depending on if you're giving shares or if you're giving just pure interest or whatever, it all depends on the agreement that you get signed. And you take the money before you find the deal, or maybe you're simultaneously doing that, but the money stays with you for 3 months and you don't pay them no interest. 3 months later, you start paying interest. Now, the biggest challenge for an entrepreneur is to make sure that there's a deal done within 3 months, because if there's no deal, you're still paying the interest, which is what's happening at this moment of time with me, because people are pulled out. 1, 2, 3 people pulled out, for example. Even though I'm paying interest on that money and I'm responsible, irrespective of if I'm making money on it, you need to be prepared for that. I am personally prepared for that because I'm making more money on other deals. Eventually, even if I break even for the first 6 months, it doesn't bother me because I'm setting up something to scale.
Yes, but that makes sense.
See the intricate details. Sometimes people don't get that. Remember, I have both. I have the 11 subsets of trainings and then I have PE and club that allows me to raise money for our projects. But remember, I don't give people what I want. I ask them what they want. And that's the role model is. If you ask them what to, exactly. But here it is, okay? You got to remember one more thing, okay? Someone is going to look at what you call there's a word for it. It's called, you know, when you buy something and you regret a few years later. Not immediately, buyer's remorse, buyer's remorse, okay? The problem with selling something is that if you are selling training or if you're selling mentoring and these guys look back, not immediately, because they can't see immediately, 2-3 years, but they can see 5 years later that you sold them something that was bad, they're going to just remember you in a bad light. Someone calls me up and says, can you give me buy-to-let training? Remember, 90% of UK investors still invest in buy-to-let. Someone calls me up and says, can you provide buy-to-let training? I tell them no. I tell them it's a bad investment. Let me show you some other strategies that are way more profitable than buy-to-let. I tell them that. But if they still say, can you give me buy-to-let training? I tell them no. Because I know they're going to look back 10 years later and they're going to curse me. Now, but remember, the training that I'm providing now, could some of this turn out to be bad later? But I'm not asking them. It's almost like I'm putting my skin in the game right in front of you. What I'm teaching, I'm doing it myself. So if I make a mistake, I'm being still honest with everyone. That everyone can see that I'm not just teaching you, oh, go and invest here. I'm doing it myself. So if 10 years later, if it's a bad choice, then I'm not just shared it with you. I've made bad choice myself. And I'm humble to say I do make mistakes. Okay, so you have to be clear about that. Don't go and start advising people if you don't know the whole picture. Most people, you know, when you go to training programs and there's someone is saying, oh, go and do sourcing. And I get so many people calling me, you know, I learned sourcing. Sourcing is the first one, okay? The first step in the property business is sourcing. And guess what happens? 90% of the people fail because they don't know sales skills. They don't know how to bring value, okay? And they literally fail, okay? So if you start teaching people, about one strategy and you don't know the full picture, you are actually doing wrong on everyone. Referral. But referral has nothing to do with, remember, referral has nothing to do with your advice. You're bringing someone to me and I'm the one who's giving advice, not you. In fact, when I say advice, I actually tell people that you must still do your due diligence. Just because I've shared something with you doesn't mean you go and follow it like a blind man. Don't. What I'm sharing is what my perspective and my experience is. Now you take that and you do your own due diligence and you see, you know, I always tell people, show me one deal that you've made 100% return on your money. Most people cannot show me. I've seen one deal with 130% return on money invested. I've seen another one with 80% return on money invested, okay? I have not had anyone show me deals where they make 100%. I can show you deals making 100%, right? Okay, so first of all, skin in the game. Second off, I'm not advising, I'm just sharing my experience and my experience and my journey. And then now you go and do your due diligence and then you apply it then. Please don't follow me blindly. Please don't. It doesn't make sense. You know, someone shares some advice with me. If I go and follow it blindly, guess what it is? One blind man following another blind man.
Both of you are gonna fall in the
And I promise you, that's one thing I'm not. Okay, so I don't just go and listen to a book or take training and mentoring from someone. I go and take it and then start implementing and say, okay, does it work and how does it work? And in most cases, this is very important to hear. Just because, remember, this is my experience in my context. You take my content, you apply it in your context. It may not work because the context has changed. Context has changed. Are you with me? Okay, so you could literally take my advice and apply it to the T, and it may not work. Yes. No, here it is. Even though by learning this, you're becoming a different person, okay? You're becoming that person who can attract money, okay? However, yeah, it has to be you. Perfect. You have to be you. You have to be you. You have to be you. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You need to be you. So just because I'm sharing my content and you're taking it, if you take the same content and apply it to your context, remember the context is different.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to adapt this content into your context. You know, Jennifer has been with us for like a year. Yeah. About a year, maybe shy of a year. It just hasn't been working for her. I'm honest to say, with in front of a recorded video, it hasn't worked for her. That's because she is a different person. She needs someone to help create those systems in place that will start to convert this into a transaction. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. She knows all of it, but it's just not working in her context because she's a different person. Are you with me? Okay. So you have to look at yourself and say, how can I make this work in my context? Shall we go back to the circle and say,
sorry, don't you think it's beginning slowly to work?
it has, it has,
Yeah.
it has.
Yeah.
In fact, I know some members who initially when they started, I was very skeptical. I was very, I used to, I won't say worried, I don't worry, but I was concerned that it's not working for them. How can I make it work? Okay. But I can see some members who I was concerned have started working with them. I know people, okay? I'm a member here as well. I love you. Okay. But it's totally started working for them because now they're taking what they're learning from me and they've started implementing in their context. Very important. I could pitch the same way, you could pitch the same way. One would raise money, one would raise money. Just you have to apply it in your vibe, your context. Going back to the circle, use the grow model, ask me for the deck. I'll show you the deck on how we are raising funding. I have lots of people agreed and waiting for me to come back with more deals on this stuff, but I'm going to go back. We're going to raise more funds. I want to literally scale this to 1,000. Yeah, go ahead. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's okay. You'll get there. That's okay. You'll get there. You'll get there. It's taken me 3 years with the skills that I have. Then yeah, you need to have a bit more patience. There we are. Jennifer saying it took me a year to get a gist of it.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I had the money there at the time, it wasn't like I wanted to run in and just do anything. And you see, the other thing as well, my mindset when I first started with Jack was a buy to let.
Yeah. And I asked her not to.
So against it.
I was so against it. I was literally telling her, please don't do buy
And
to
then I
let.
had family members saying, what's wrong with buy to let? So yeah.
Please do.
Pull out.
You will bless me, not now, 5, maybe 10 years later.
No, it's not fair, but you also said they've changed.
You have to look after yourself first.
But you also said that they've also changed certain things. So
Please look after yourself first. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Look after yourself first. Look after yourself first.
That's an opportunity to step away. Yeah, step away. Yeah. No, step away. That's what I was saying to you. It's now that they've changed the different things that you initially, it's not the sellers, but it doesn't meet your requirement now. You see what I'm saying?
Save yourself first. If you can save yourself, you can save others on the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I was you, I'd pull out. And that's not my advice. That's just me sharing my experience. Okay? I don't give advice.
So you see, that's what I had to get my head around, because all I ever heard was buy to let.
I think Jenny, she took a lot longer than I was thinking. She took a lot longer to get her head around like buy to let is not worth it. Because 90% of the people are doing that. So it's just so ingrained in everyone's mind that it's buy to let. It's not. I'm not saying HMOs are good. HMOs are good. They still pay well. They still pay well. They still pay well. I would still take a HMO for as long as I can get it at the right price. That's 25% return on investment. That's good. That's good. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think you've answered this yourself. But you got to remember, HMOs are a lot more automated. You know, someone goes in, lives there for 6 months or whatever. This is very active management. You got to remember that requires less of your time after the initial setup, but this requires your active management of your time. So you got to this hotel lease business. So you got to always look. Yes, that's me.
Because he's got everything self.
Remember, Fortune. Okay, you got to remember this. Okay. I'm asking you not to compare yourself with anyone. Please do not compare yourself with me. You are a very different person from I am, and I am very different from you. But here it is, okay? You cannot take my 29 years of life experience and learn in a single day. You can't take John's. That's fine. So what you now can do is, you can, let's say, take something here. You may not make 190% because you're not as effective as you could be as yet, but you may still make 70, 80% or 100%, which is much better than making 25%. Okay? And then you could potentially, if you wanted to, leave your accountancy and just be doing this and making double six-figure income. I mean, you can get to double six-figure income in 12 months. I guaranteed. Like, that's actually easy. That's actually easy. I can assure you, you can do double six-figure income here within 12 months. If you put your head down and say, I don't know any relatives and friends, and no, I don't know anyone. I don't know TV. I don't know nothing in life. All I know is I need to get 200 grand in 12 months time. Put your head down, work like crazy. And after 12 months, if you do a good job, you will get. Okay, so that's that for you. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Again, I don't provide advice, I just share experience. You can, like I said, you put your head down. Yeah. Okay, you know, I always share all of this with a lot of respect. Okay, please, if my tone gets up and down, I am passionate. Okay, but I share it with a lot of respect, and I know I can be the young one, but yeah, I share it with a lot of humility. I promise you, we are literally made of dust. And I share this with so much, you know, emotions. We are made of dust. I could be dead within minutes. Okay, so with a lot of respect. And you gotta do a good job. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop recording. My missus is waiting outside.